there will be no more of many of the patterns that you are used to. They are gone, and the ways in which they appear to be alive are false. You feed your belief in them from your own life essence, and because they are dead, your efforts are not successful. This time on Earth is dramatic and beautiful to us. You must live through the death in a way that makes sense, and that is difficult, and we care. The fundamental transformation of your world is not something that can come without pain. But believe me when I tell you, we do our best to preserve the essence of your life through this time in a way that is loving. You will not be able to return to the past, and to the extent you attempt to, you will falter and sicken. We are giving you the most graceful opportunity to change that we can create. It is in many ways brutal and blunt. It is not a perfect system. We are closer to gardeners than you would prefer. The earth works in balances and has always worked in balances. You have been supported in your right to preserve your sanity and your life. And yet, the limits of this system as it has been have been surpassed. We cannot afford to allow you to continue to expand and grow in the manner you have been allowed to thrive. Please understand, we do not take joy in the suffering that must occur in order to change your course. We take joy in helping you create something that will last. The sickness that is in your midst has been designed in perfect balance. Perfection is not something that you can embrace as an absolute. It is something that you must allow to fade in your memory and be replaced as an idea with a dance. You can sing the same song in many ways, and it could be understood as perfect. But if you interpret perfection in relationship to a mathematical proof of replication, you will sicken further. Understand that nothing you can do will be more effective than learning to ride these changes. Developing the instincts akin to an animal that knows when the storms come and leaves the most dangerous areas must be your priority. Make no mistake, some tragedies can be predicted, and when they are not predictable, you will be forced to adjust to them as quickly and as effectively as you can. For the time being, please trust that it is essential that the kind of mind that attempts to control things that cannot be controlled must die. In the event that individuals and communities continue to hold to their power to choose in the face of choices that are not real, they will be plowed through. This is not a joyful practice in the sense you might consider. For the long time that we have been apart from your conscious race, apart from speaking to you directly, you have been allowed to make bad choices on purpose. During this time, humanity has expanded and developed and grown in many ways, and yet the destruction that you have left in your wake has been very painful to bear. We tend the whole earth, And although humanity plays a crucial role in the development of consciousness on the Earth, we do not explicitly delineate between ecosystems and humanity as if you are not part of the same thing. Just as a gardener makes choices between parts of their ecosystem, we must make such choices as well. And believe me when I tell you, we have granted an extraordinary degree of leeway to allow you to grow in the face of the destruction of a healthy balance. And the limits have been reached. This is a turning point in the path of the Earth. And many beings are being given the opportunity to leave during these times. It does not need to be understood as tragic. Grief is a process that you can engage without struggling to wish that life was going in a different way. You will not be allowed to continue to believe in opportunities and choices that are not real. Let me say again, if you use your power to believe in something that is not available, you will suffer. I do not encourage you to live inside of fear. I do encourage you to recognize that the pattern of this path will not allow you to stray much without being given signs that you are out of balance. It is your job to learn to recognize these signs. We give them to you in abundance. To the extent you cannot see and embrace them, you will suffer. The suffering is mitigated by many opportunities to adjust. And as you adjust, the signs themselves will become a more crucial and fundamental part of your life, your way, and your awareness. And just as it becomes more a part of your awareness, you will adjust to grow with these changes in a way that is fundamentally beautiful. The limits that you have reached and breached are not here to hurt you. They exist to create a space within which you can live well. There is a thriving available to you that will be exceeded by the process of growth in the future. In a practical way, this means that when you use your life force and your hope, your capacity to create, to adjust to what is real and to live within it, you will flourish on a level you cannot imagine when you attempt to live with control as your first choice. Allowing this control is not the same as allowing yourself to revert to infancy. You, although being born in this world, must continue to make mature choices to be present to the environment that you live within and to participate in life in a way that can flourish. You have been forced to be still. To the extent you choose to defy this guidance, you and the people you love will be largely put at risk. The exceptional risk that people take by denying the obvious limitations of the current circumstances have their own consequence. Make no mistake, it is not necessary for everyone who fails to trust us to die. However, if you choose to refuse to let go of the patterns of thinking and choosing that make bad choices, you will be led away from the earth. Please understand that this kind of change and transformation takes on a dramatically different tenor, in a way of seeing that surpasses this life itself. To the extent that you only identify from within this lifetime to the extent that you only interpret reality within the perspective of the birth and the life within this body that you currently inhabit, you will fail to see the truth. Thus, I first request that in learning to treat life far more sacredly, you also learn to recognize that death is not an end of everything that you are. This is a fundamental change in thinking for many of the human beings on the earth, and to the extent that you cannot embrace this, you will suffer. It is no longer time to live in such a way that you allow yourself to believe that this life might be all that there is. Please trust that allowing yourself to transcend the boundaries of what you have known will ultimately lead you to appreciate this life much more deeply. And that is our goal. It has been necessary to allow you to exist as a separate species, apart from our direct interference and guidance, in order to develop an inner resolve and capacity to create. You have been granted the opportunity to birth within a culture that is learning to exert its power in ways that are gorgeous to behold. By learning to incarnate within a human culture that does not directly participate with the divine guidance, you have been created in a way that has never existed before. Make no mistake, these patterns have been lived through again and again and again, and yet your time is unique. The 12,000 years of the current human cycle are sacred. They have taken you from a very isolated range of perception into the ability to reawaken to the greater life in the universe. This will allow you yet again to look back into yourself and to cherish what you are a part of. Being fascinated with what exists elsewhere is not ideal. Being aware of what exists elsewhere makes it extremely difficult to stay present until you learn an even broader range of awareness. You chose to be part of this story from an awareness that was conscious of the greater existence of life and consciousness all around you. Imagine that you stare at the earth. You are a spirit floating in space, invited to participate in a grand story. What you know of as life on earth within a human body is one frame of a much grander story. Imagine a much tighter focus on the red hot force deeper inside the earth. Imagine a much more ephemeral focus at the limits of your atmosphere. Imagine a shifting in vibration in the exact range of existence that you live. And now imagine 200 such frames of reference. They exist like radio stations, different base frequencies around which a great range of life flourishes. It's tremendously difficult to grasp this range of existence from within the perspective of a human body born into the cultures that you share at this time. And make no mistake, the challenge of this time is to become more aware of your presence and the limitations of this life, while still remaining within it and indeed investing in it more deeply. So from this perspective, we cherish the life and and the ecosystems, their balance and their flourishing. And yet we remain consistently and deeply aware of the much broader range of existence that is present right here around you and has always been present right here around you. One of the greatest failings you can make is to insist on interpreting these other realities from the perspective of a physical body. If you continue to identify primarily as a physical body, you will gain aspects of the truth and become exceedingly confused as you attempt to integrate them into a broader perspective that is fundamentally flawed. You will have much greater success if you imagine a barren planet that you exist to see, and then recognizing that the barren, lifeless planet is present with you now. There are multiple ranges of existence that are present with you now, but you do not interact with them because they exist on slightly different frequencies all around you. I speak with you about your incarnation and your shared creation. And I am inviting you to embrace this time as the fulfillment of an entire era and the beginning of a new one.